A massive aircraft carrying a 151-ton heat boiler was seen refueling on the airstrip as the crimson sun rose over Goose Bay, Newfoundland. The aircraft was traveling from Berlin to Edmonton. The Antonov An-225, Mriya, is the only aircraft that can carry something this massive. There is no comparison or match for the An-225. Welcome to our channel. In today's video, we will be showing you the largest aeroplane in the world in all of its magnificence, as well as how it was attacked and destroyed. Join me right up until the very end as we get right into it. Antonov An-225, Mriya payload, 551156 lbs, 25,000 kg. The world's biggest cargo aeroplane, the Antonov An-225, Mriya, was the only aircraft with 6 turbofan engines. Capable of carrying up to 250 tons of cargo, including 200-ton single parts, the aircraft was a modern marvel of engineering, capable of short to medium-haul travel. About this aircraft. There was only ever one An-225 Mriya, also known as Dream in English. Its design and construction took place in the 1980s, and on December 21, 1988, it made its first flight. The landing gear had 32 wheels, 20 of which were steerable. Of the 18 wheels in the main gear, 16 were steerable and the remaining 4 were located in the nose gear. When the An-225 Mriya made its grand debut at the 1989 Paris Air Show, it was carrying the Space Shuttle, also known as the Buran spaceplane, which it was initially assigned to transport for the Soviet space program. Its capacity was intended to be double that of a Boeing 747 cargo. Its full dimensions from nose to tail and wingtip to wingtip might have covered a football pitch. Its maximum takeoff weight of 1.32 million pounds, or 598 tons, made it much larger and more capable than the 747. The Antonov An-225 Mriya freighter was built by Ukrainian engineers at Antonov, and because of its size and weight, it required a significant amount of power to get off the ground. Each engine was able to provide an incredible 51,590 pounds of thrust. The pride of Ukraine was this Leviathan plane. Some refer to it as the whale of the skies. Throughout its existence, Mriya broke over 100 world records, beginning with its inaugural flight in 1988, which made it the world's heaviest and largest aircraft in terms of displacement. One enduring record was attained in 2009 when the An-225 broke the record for the biggest equipment ever airlifted. This was an Alstom generator stator that weighed 174 tons, 348,000 pounds, and it could only be flown to Armenia, a landlocked country. Following the independence of Ukraine, Antonov made multiple renovations to the aircraft. Early in the new millennium, Mriya started functioning as a business. After a sluggish start, it identified a significant niche. Satellites, power transformers, and hurricane-related water delivery all were transported by the massive Ukrainian enterprise. It carried essential medical supplies during the COVID-19 pandemic. The interior design, with an amazing overall length of 142.1 feet, a width of over 21 feet, and an internal height of roughly 14 feet, the cargo hold of the An-225 Mriya was large enough to accommodate 50 vehicles. The interior of the cargo hold had an engineering room big enough to accommodate 4 crew members, a side cargo compartment for large objects and tools for aircraft maintenance, and a main cargo deck with a built-in crane that could move a 33-ton load. A retractable ladder was the sole way to get to the cockpit, which was located at the top of the aircraft. Scientific features. The engines of the An-225 Mriya were its most obvious, and most likely most well-known, technological characteristic. The An-225 Mriya's propulsion consisted of 6 ZMKB Progress Lotarev D-18T turbofan jet engines, which allowed it to reach a maximum speed of 528 mph at an altitude of 36,000 feet. With its immense power, the An-225 could cover a distance of 9,569 miles, enough to get from London to Australia, even when its fuel tank was fully charged. History. The Soviet Union and the United States were engaged in a space competition in the 1960s and 1970s, which is when the An-225 narrative started. Large and heavy goods were to be transported by the end of the 1970s from their assembly locations to the vast spaceport in the Kazakhstani deserts known as Baikonur Cosmodrome, which served as the starting point for Yuri Gagarin's historic spaceflight in 1961. The Buran spacecraft, the Soviet Union's equivalent of NASA's space shuttle, was the cargo in question. The Antonov business was requested to create an aircraft since, at the time, none could carry it. Only one AN-225 was ever completed. Its design and construction took place in the 1980s, and on December 21, 1988, it made its first flight. It has been more than 25 years since the AN-225's inaugural flight. Since then, the unmatched cargo plane has flown some of the biggest loads ever recorded throughout the world and broken hundreds of records. It has transported the broadest range of cargo, totaling over 21 tons. Animals, as well as devices and parts manufacturer Oleg Antonov, was the head of the top-secret Antonov State Company, which was originally known as the Antonov Design Bureau. It was established in 1946 by the Novosibirsk Aircraft Production Association. The manufacturer specialized in building very big aeroplanes and those that could operate on unprepared runways. The Ukrainian Aircraft Company was established in July 2017 by Ukroboronprom, the state-owned armaments manufacturer of Ukraine, uniting all aircraft manufacturing businesses, including Antonov's assets, under a single cluster. The Antonov An-225, Mriya, destroyed. According to Ukrainian officials, the Antonov An-225, the largest aircraft in the world, was destroyed in February 2022 during the Russian invasion of Ukraine. This news shocked and saddened the aviation community. The massive aeroplane was assaulted by Russian occupants while it was parked at an airfield close to Kyiv. Elite Russian paratroopers landed on the Antonov airstrip, the significant freight airport in Hostomel, northwest of Kyiv, in the early hours of the conflict. The airport was meant to serve as an anchor point for an attack on the capital. In the weeks leading up to the conflict, the Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, alleged on April 5 that Serhiy Byshkov, the director of state-owned Antonov at the time, neglected to accept an order that would have flown the Antonov AN-225 to Leipzig, Germany. At the time of the invasion, the An-225 was in proper technical condition, which would have allowed it to fly outside Ukraine. Sadly, the aircraft was not spared during the invasion. To keep the roof above Mriya from collapsing, it was decided to demolish it and begin repairing the concrete hangar. Can the dream, Mriya, be restored? The plane is literally in hundreds, if not more, of pieces, so the answer is no. From the engines to the cockpit, every single key component is a write-off. The plane would probably not be recertified for flying even if it were rebuilt, since larger pieces would have hidden damage, especially from heat exposure, that could have weakened them and jeopardized the structural integrity of the rebuilt aircraft. There is a backup plan in case the Mriya cannot be fixed. Although the second An-225 aircraft was never finished, it is still in very good condition in Ukraine. When work on the aircraft stopped in November 2022, Antonov said that it had 30% of the remaining parts. The aircraft was 60 to 70% complete at that point. President Zelensky has expressed his support for the construction of a new aircraft, saying that doing so will commemorate the memories of the Ukrainian pilots who lost their lives fighting for their country. To extract usable parts, engineers and technicians have started searching the wreckage of the Mriya at Hostomel. On the other hand, the new aircraft will have updated engines. The aircraft will have new electronic onboard equipment installed. Renowned aircraft businesses will be taking part. Mriya continues to be the heaviest airplane ever constructed, a heavyweight in the industry of heavy lifting. The once powerful An-225 was soon reduced to a scene of shattered glass and scorched metal on the day of the attack. It is comforting to know that this unparalleled and famous aircraft will take to the skies once more. The Russian Federation, which has purposefully damaged Ukraine's aviation industry, will be responsible for paying the rebuilding costs of the aircraft, which the Ukrainian government will guarantee. For more videos like this, please subscribe to our channel, like it, and share. Please click the bell icon if you've subscribed to receive alerts when we release new videos. See you in the upcoming videos.